Hi members, my name is S.L.Ager and I'm the author of the Cadwalla de Quest vocabulary novels and their accompanying workbooks, which you can see behind me. I'd like to welcome you to Tutor Focus, where I get the great opportunity to interview some of our tutors so that you, the members, can get to know them better. And I'm absolutely thrilled today to be here with Jemma Smith, who is the founder of the Education Hotel. Hi Jemma, how are you?
Hi there, I'm good, thank you. Really good.
How's things?
Yeah, I've just moved house, so it's all quite exciting, and I'll apologise in advance in case there's any banging.
Oh right, have you got builders in and doing things to the house then?
Yeah, so that's hopefully all that way.
Same here with my dogs. If they bark, I'm really sorry. So anyway, but we like to keep the section fairly brief, Jemma. So if it's okay with you, can we hop straight into the questions?
Yep, brilliant. Let's start.
Oh, so what do you specialise in as a tutor, and where are you based? So obviously you and the Education Hotel.
Yeah. So the Education Hotel is known for one-to-one tuition. So our tutors are mostly between London and that's kind of around northwest London, and then all the way out to Oxfordshire. And we're known for, well, I suppose, for helping students to get to top schools and to do university applications, and then for GCSEs and A levels. So really we take students from around 9 to 10 years old all the way up.
And that's for state grammar schools as well as private schools, Jemma? Do you tutor?
Yes, we do both. I'd say for myself personally, I'm more known for the 11 plus, 13 plus for independence. So if it is highly competitive, we probably cover it, and that includes the university stuff. That includes 16 plus, 13 plus, 11 plus.
Indeed, and indeed I've actually utilised your services for 16 plus, and we've been very happy, so I just thought I'd say that. Okay, so why and how did you personally become a tutor and the founder of Education Hotel?
I became a tutor because tutors helped me. So I went to Chelmsford Grammar, CCHS, and I did tuition for my 11 plus. I did group tuition down there, and the kind of the opportunities that it gave me in getting into the grammar school, I'm really grateful for. And then when I was looking to apply to Oxford. My parents haven't been to university, so they again employed a tutor who helped with my personal statement. And then when I was at university, I had a personal tutor. So Oxford does the tutorial system, and each time I really got a benefit out of having that one-to-one. And I felt like it gave me the opportunity to really expand my interests and also to get a real focus. So I suppose that's probably why I became a tutor.
and very understandably so as well. You know, if you've had such a successful experience with that, then you can easily understand. And how did you come to be the founder of Education Hotel?
Oh, that's an interesting one. So I've been doing tuition for 9 years now, I think. And I always did it alongside other roles. So I worked in London as a strategy consultant. I ran a fairly well-known summer school here in Oxford and helped them to set up a year-round program. And then I really got into tutoring when I left that, and I actually left that, and the next day I got on a plane to go and do some international tutoring. So it was quite sudden, but it'd always been creeping up. The amount of tuition that I'd done when I was working as a strategy consultant was quite low, and then it increased and it increased and it increased. And then I finished my role with the summer school, and literally it was the next day The next day I got on a plane, I went out to Dubai, and it was amazing. I spent 3 months out there working with a tuition team and tutoring students who were both expat and nationals out there. And I loved it. I really, really enjoyed it. And I had this kind of odd crossroads at the end, because when I'd gone out, I'd kind of had this decision about whether I go to teaching or do I go into tuition. So I actually came back and I took a PGCE. So I qualified as a secondary science teacher. And it was at the end of the secondary science teaching that I decided, you know what, I really love tutoring. I love one-to-one. I love the difference that I can make in students' lives. And I think this is the way I want to go. And that's when I set up the Education Hotel. So a bit of a windy path to get there. But that was the kind of the initial point. But there's been a lot of work. I've been a tutor, as I said, for 9 years now. So there's a lot of stuff behind that, before setting up the Education Hotel.
And when did you set up the Education Hotel?
Set up, I suppose. We registered only a year and a half ago, but before that, it was known in name around Oxford, but it was mostly me and a couple of friends who were doing it. So that was the point that we registered, was the point that we started taking on a lot more tutors, and we started looking at their specialisms and how they can help. So I think, like a lot of tutors, I found that I specialize obviously in really selective schools. So the kind of Eton College, you're looking at your top grammars, you're looking at the ones that are really well known. But I was also getting a lot of people who came to me and were saying, do you know a French teacher? I don't teach French. I would never teach French. So I was going to friends that I'd qualified with. I was going to friends that I'd met out. I have a tutor on my team who I worked out in Dubai with, and saying, you know, do you cover this subject? Because I'm not, that's not where my expertise lies. So it was when we started getting all those people together, that was the point where really the Education Hotel was born. And I thought, okay, you know, we're going to do it. We're going to get everything branded and really go for it.
Yeah, and you've done very well, actually, because you are a very well-known brand now, certainly in the 11 plus, 13 plus and sort of elite school sphere. And what would you say your greatest tutoring strengths are? I think maybe let's talk about you there, Jemma.
Yeah, sure. It's quite hard talking about positives in yourself. I think mine is because
tutors, so I know what they are.
Yeah, you have. Because a lot of what I do nowadays is exam teaching. So 13 plus teaching, 11 plus teaching, GCSE teaching. And that can get quite dry because you're following a syllabus and there is always a syllabus to follow. And I think I would say my strength sits in teaching that syllabus, but making it enjoyable. So I really enjoy it when a student comes back to me and says, I've got this question based on our last lesson. So we did this last lesson and now I really want to know, how does this part of it work? And it might not be on the syllabus, but it can be something that we can go ever so slightly off and then back on. And I'm quite good at making sure that everything is ticked off. In my personal life, I'm not very organized, but in my tuition life, I'm very organized. And I've got a checklist for each student. So I know that they have covered every single little bit that they need to do, which for 11 plus and 13 plus and indeed 16 is important. So getting every single little bit ticked off and then moving into that exam practice and doing it and making it interesting as well. I'd say that making sure that you stick to a structure, but not being boring. Hopefully that's what people would say.
And what's your favourite part of tutoring?
My favourite bit?
Yeah.
Obviously, I think everyone would say the part where a student really gets it. That's great. And that is really fun to just see that moment when they understand. Oddly, some of my favorite parts are exam teaching. That's why I do a lot of it. So actually going through an exam paper when a student's done a paper, and because I do GCSE science as well as the 13 plus and 11 plus, and there are set mark schemes, especially in like 13 and GCSE, and seeing them absolutely nail it and going, yep, you've got the exact wording, or you've used the exact right piece of vocab in there, or I can see exactly how you've worked out your math, and I can see it all nicely laid out. And I know that as a marker, that's just going to make someone who is marking and physically sitting down, they're just going to make their lives easier. And that's where I really enjoy working with exam students, because often they'll come to me, they'll have some knowledge originally, they would have done some work, they'll be good, they'll be often the students that come to me get great reports, they're in the top set of their class, but they don't have that exam technique, they're not finishing it on time, or they're not, writing it out correctly.
Yeah.
So it is a bit of an odd one, but I do like to see when a student has written out everything really understandably, because it helps.
It's absolutely a critical skill, that, because like you say, you can have all the knowledge in the world, but if you can't get it down in a succinct manner and play to the mark scheme, you're cutting your chances down by quite a high percentage, I would say. So yeah, like you say, it's a critical skill.
But that's why I find it enjoyable when I see that, because I'm like, yes, you've got it.
Nailed it. So the question before we close, Gemma, which is the one that I ask all students now, because you teach 11 plus, 13 plus and 16 plus, choose one of the ages, okay? And what is your top tip? One top tip only for a parent. So are you going to go 11 plus, 13 plus, or 16 plus there? Or you can meld them all if you can give one.
Yeah, it probably goes across, actually, is set your schedule and stick to your schedule, not your cousin's schedule, not the friend down the road schedule. And by that I mean, I get students who come to me in year 3 and they're saying we're interested in 11 plus, and we don't teach 11 plus from year 3, but we will help with the foundation skills with the knowledge that they're doing that. I get students who come to me specifically looking for 13 plus, they're international and they've got 3 months to prepare, but it's tough, it's intensive. But if you've got a schedule and you stick to it and you know what you're doing, and again, it comes back to that making sure that everything is ticked off, then if you don't go, oh, there's a really great mock exam that's happening, but it's only 2 weeks away and my child's not quite prepared for it, or I've suddenly seen my friend talking about this app and it's going to change our lives. None of it will. It is just about plodding through. Yeah. And I know that we see a lot on 11 plus groups about the merits of this book over this book or this online thing. And I say to my parents, it doesn't matter so much what you do, it matters that you're doing it, and you've got to stick to your path. And so really, whether it's 11 plus or 13 plus has more subjects. Really work out what you're going to do when and stick to it. If you know that you're doing 13 plus, but you're doing it because it's part of what's done in school and you're not needing a scholarship and you're not needing this thing, and actually you want to keep it less pressured, keep to your schedule. If you have 3 months left to do it and we've really got to work at it, stick to the schedule.
Yeah.
So I think it's knowing your own path.
That makes absolute sense, and trying to avoid the distractions, and there are many, especially if you're on Facebook. So Jemma, before we wrap, can you tell us where we can find you, your resources, everywhere online, please?
Okay, so website, theeducationhotel.co.uk. We are on Instagram as Education Hotel. We're on Facebook as the Education Hotel Tuition. I think that's probably us. We have a newsletter on the website where you can sign up, and it comes through with a load of downloadable resources. There's a free 11 plus paper and answers in there. There's how to support your child through exams, anything that's really exam focused. We've got a load of resources that will come through if you sign up to the newsletter.
Okay, that's brilliant. And there we go, bang on cue, somebody knocking at the door. So just to reiterate there, Jemma, people can sign up to your free website, to your free newsletter on your website, and then they can get lots of downloadable resources and information.
Yes. Yep.
Brilliant.
Get sent directly through.
Okay, well, fantastic, Jemma. Thank you so much for your time. As I say, we've used your services at home here, and we've been very pleased. And no doubt we'll be using them again because she needs to write her personal statement. So there we go. And yeah, see you very soon, Jemma.
Oh, perfect. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.